Hi everyone, I'm Bilal. Today is December 2nd, and here's the latest AI news. DeepSeek has released their latest reasoning model named V3.2. It has been able to beat benchmarks in Olympiad-level math reasoning. Specifically, it's ranked first in the Harvard MIT mathematics tournament benchmark. It's ranked third in the American Invitational Mathematics Examination, and it's only behind Gemini and Grok, and it has ranked first in the Humanities Last Exam benchmark, which is basically around 2,500 questions from science and humanities. It is not scored well enough for coding benchmarks, so it's on, I think, number ranked 13th on the SWE bench verified. Regardless, I think this is a big win for DeepSeek. If you remember, DeepSeek became famous for training their R1 model on just $6 million. And at the time, the latest, for example, the latest OpenAI models, they cost around $50 to $100 million. So DeepSeek, their model is to not just throw more compute and data to the problem of training models, but they're trying to achieve optimizations on every level, from the way they're training the models, and also how they are optimizing their compute infrastructure. And so every competitive model that DeepSeek launches, basically they give a signal to the world that China can achieve this success without access to NVIDIA's top chips. And on top of that, their models have open weights. So basically, that means that the parameters of those models are publicly available for people to use and like run themselves. That's actually pretty big for them to achieve such high scores with such a model. All right. So next, OpenAI has bought a stake in Thrive Holdings, which is a private equity firm. What this private equity firm is doing is that they're acquiring traditional service firms like accounting firms, IT firms, that they think can significantly benefit from AI. In this partnership, OpenAI will basically embed its teams into these companies that this PE company has acquired, and OpenAI will help them adopt AI and ultimately make them more successful. And once these companies are sold by the PE firms, OpenAI will make a profit as well. So, so basically, what's interesting is that this is the first time OpenAI is kind of engaging in a partnership like this. And I think OpenAI will have to find creative ways to generate more revenue down the road if it wants to compete with the likes of Google, who has more computing power, who has more data, who has more money, right? So we're finding OpenAI is getting into robotics. It's rolling out deep enterprise integrations with companies. For example, they've just launched an alliance with Accenture, and Accenture will be equipping all their consultants with ChatGPT Enterprise. And we saw that OpenAI is trying to embed itself into the corporate workflow, something that Microsoft has been doing well. And OpenAI has been working with Microsoft, with PwC, Workday, and other companies to do this. OpenAI is also partnering with Hollywood studios so that they can start using Sora, which is a model that you can use to generate AI videos. And finally, yes, they also have they're working on a hardware product, which nobody really knows what it is. They've been very secretive about it, but it's being led by Johnny Ives. Johnny Ives used to be the head of design for Apple, and in the past couple of months, OpenAI has been hiring people from Apple's hardware division. So yeah, OpenAI is quietly positioning itself as like a AI powered ecosystem, and it's no longer just a company that is releasing frontier models. ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok has an AI app called Doubao. It's become one of the most popular mobile AI applications in China, and then they've been able to achieve this success by using the same user engagement methods that they have done with TikTok. And this basically shows that success in the consumer AI market is going to rely more on like design, usability, and reach rather than just the raw sophistication of the models that they're using. And I think this is why Google has been giving a tough time to OpenAI, especially in the consumer market, because Google has figured out how to embed its AI offerings and models into the tools that people already use, like Google Photos and Google Docs. So yeah, so OpenAI will kind of have to find more ways of getting into consumer AI, just like how ByteDance and Google has been doing it, right? Moving on, Apple's AI chief, uh, John Giannandrea, has had to step down because of delays and setbacks in their Apple Intelligence roadmap. Apple had promised a lot of things, including an overhaul of Siri, where it becomes like a full-on AI agent, which has like full context awareness of what's on like your screen. It has the ability to run actions across different applications. But unfortunately, Apple hasn't been able to deliver on all these promises. So John is being replaced by Amar Subramanya, who used to be the vice president of AI at Microsoft. He actually recently joined Microsoft in July of 2025, and I wonder why he's leaving so fast. Before Microsoft, Amar he was leading the Gemini Assistant engineering division for I don't know how many years, but he was in Google for around 16 years. All right. Finally, wrapping up, uh, it's the news that Black Forest Labs has just raised $300 million at a $3.25 billion valuation. Earlier this month, they released their Flux 2 image generation model around the same time that Gemini launched their Nano Banana Pro. This just shows that even with tough competition, top AI companies are still receiving very high valuations because the market expects a massive growth ahead. All right, that's all the news I have for today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.